It's been a busy diplomatic whirl for Prime Minister Peres. After 5 hours of talks on Tuesday, he prepared to meet the third Egyptian envoy in a week. This time it was the Assistant Foreign Minister Abdel-Hadi Badawi pressing Egyptian efforts to make something out of the PLO-Jordanian accord.
I came bearing a message from President Mubarak to Prime Minister Peres. We had discussions. The discussions were about the importance of putting momentum into the peace process.
But a spokesman for the Israeli Prime Minister highlighted the sticking point.
Prime Minister Peres reiterated Israel's position in favor of direct negotiations with Jordan or with the Jordanian-Palestinian delegation without PLO participation.
In Cairo, the envoy procedure was reciprocated. Overtly on a visit to talk oil, Israel is a major customer of Egypt. There was no attempt to conceal the political content of the trip, although few details were given.
I came here as after the kind invitation of the Minister of Petrol. I was very glad to be here. Every politician brings with him a message whenever he is there.
It was the highest level meeting between Israel and Egypt since the invasion of Lebanon in 1982. Then, Egypt recalled its ambassador in protest. Only weeks ago, it would have seemed unlikely that Egyptian leaders would be holding talks with a senior Israeli official. But despite the smiles and atmosphere of good cheer, there remain serious differences on the shape of any peace talks on the future of the Palestinians. Israeli Prime Minister Shimon Peres' chief aide, Avraham Tamir, told reporters that he had a good talk with the Egyptian ministers. What he didn't say was that while the Egyptians repeated their view that the PLO is the only legitimate voice of the Palestinian people, his masters refused to meet with representatives of what they regard as a terrorist organization. And while the Egyptians would like nothing better than to be seen as the architects of a new peace plan for the region, they cannot afford to alienate more radical Arab opinion by completely excluding the PLO.
According to radio reports, the Israeli army had already begun moving south before the cabinet announced its decision. The ministers didn't have much choice. Already facing criticism over its plan to withdraw troops in 3 separate stages, the government knew that further hesitation was likely to lead to more bloodshed. Everyone agreed the pullout should continue. As far as most were concerned, the sooner the better. But the army would decide on the timetable, said the Minister for Communications, Amnon Rubinstein.
Unanimous, but there were no votes against or official abstentions. But I think the reason derives from the fact that it was a decision in principle, and the timing is to be decided by the Minister of Defense and by the Army.
The government began to discuss the recent contacts with representatives of the Egyptian government. At the beginning of the discussion, the Prime Minister stated that we must respond positively to the possibility of a meeting between an Israeli and a Jordanian delegation, including Palestinians not members of the PLO. Such a meeting can take place any place and any time. A meeting with the Jordanian-Palestinian delegation in the United States prior to a meeting between this delegation and the Israeli delegation should be rejected.